Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Nate Real Midwest podcast. We are on episode, I don't know what episode we're on right now. Um, this is great that I can see you guys here today. I am so excited that you guys are here. We are live all across social media. We are working on getting back onto Instagram and all that sort of stuff pretty soon. I have to work on some subscriptions and some stuff to get this to get out there, but I'm so glad that you guys are with me here today. We are going to have a great day. There's a lot to talk about. And when I mean a lot to talk about, there's a lot that is going on in our system. Our system is very, very in finding stuff like that. And what we are doing is to figure out what is going on in the state of Minnesota, what is happening across the states, and what is happening in general when fraud is taking a batting position with fraud in the state of Minnesota, when disability people are trying to get services and they're going to illegal immigrants, when Somalian illegals are saying Minnesota was given us 3,000 years. We have a problem with that constantly going on in our system. And I think the problem is with this episode of the day, we're going to talk about what our Constitution states and people who are breaking the oath constantly and willing to not allow this to forsake it in a way. And I think that is the problem with a lot of stuff, is that this is the nation that is really taking it for granted and want to blame a whole bunch of stuff on Donald J. Trump, when the politicians that are running the state of Minnesota, the people that are running this fraud, the running the Department of Human Services, those are who we should be blaming. But I see it on the Democratic Party, that the Democratic Party doesn't want to take responsibility. They want to blame Trump. Trump is this, Trump is that. You know, what happened yesterday is the mainstream media came out and said ICE murdered another illegal immigrant. I had to go research about this. And it's always the left media sources. I'm like, you know what? How stupid can the Democrats be right now? How stupid are they getting and stuff? And it's so, thank you. It's so quite interesting as how stupid they are getting. And I hate using the word stupid, but it's coming to the point that I cannot sit here. I cannot sit here and allow this to amalgamate as it what is then. It is stupid. These people don't do their research. They're sitting here acting as stupid as they can be. Okay? The word stupid is, I hate using the word stupid. I love the word stupid, but in this context, yes, I'm calling Democrats stupid because they just would believe what the mainstream media. What I did is researched. I researched first. Well, I'm getting stuff on the mainstream media. Okay, I'm going to go to an independent source. I found an independent source on X saying that this illegal immigrant who got unalived by ICE, or murdered by ICE, as the Democrats say, was trying to run him over. He was not the target. He was here illegally. They were doing some other stuff. The mainstream media. What is happening, people, is the Democrats are going to believe what the mainstream media says. It's the same problem that I have. Research. You guys have a college education. I hope you guys have a college education. Is the media, because you're not going to do your source because you're so lazy that you can't source this out. You have a college education, do you not? That's the question that I want to know. Do you have a college education? Do you have a college education? Because a lot of people I know that have a college education, you went to college. Why do we have to research for you? Why are you so stupid to not go and research when it comes to the mainstream media? The mainstream media lies all the time, and you guys are falling for it. It is so sickening. And I think that's the problem what I have with Democrats, is they're stupid. They are pretty much stupid. I'm sorry. You guys are getting to the point that you guys are being quite stupid right now. There's no buts, there's no if, there's no whats, there's no nuff, there's no nothing. You are pretty much stupid. In my book. Pretty much stupid. I love it. I hate it at the same time. It's the same thing what people say. I love it and I hate it at the same time. It's so interesting to me. But I kind of wanted to talk about some other stuff that was going on. 4th of July, let's go there. And stuff. Like, that was the most highly disrespectful thing that I have ever saw is the St. Paul mayor, let me repeat this again, the St. Paul mayor went down, you're not going to believe this shit, excuse my language, I am sorry, holy cow, I am so sorry for saying that, I am sorry, boy, this is going to be a hard one to pass, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, it came out, I know, nobody's perfect, I'm not perfect. This person went down to Somalia while she was the mayor of St. Louis Park, Minnesota. She broke the oath of the Constitution. She broke the oath of the United States Constitution and the Minnesota Constitution. She committed treason in my eyes. It's treason to a foreign government and going to meet with the president of Somalia. What deals were you making? Do you have a plan of attack that you want to surprise attack the United States with? See, this is what I don't get. Democrats would be fine with radical Islam, correct? They would be fine with it. Yep, Sharia law, everything, your women and children being raped, they would be fine with that. Your women and children being unalive, being beaten, being abused, they would be fine with that. Democrats would be fine with that. Let's admit it, people. Democrats are fine when illegal immigrants come here and just destroy America. They're fine with it. They're okay if your child gets killed by an illegal immigrant. They're fine with that. They have no sympathy, no compassion, no nothing. It's point on blank of what we're talking about. Democrats have no compassion on anything. I think it's so freaking crazy that this is the society that we are living in today across the American system. It's sickening to me. It's very sickening. I have nothing else to say. What on earth makes it this okay? This okay, correct? Makes this okay for the American system to stand about like this. And we're going to act adjacent to this. We're not going to care if you're an American citizen. We're fine if your children are going to be killed. We're fine if your children are going to be raped. We're fine with that. That is what the Democratic Party has become. They became the party of radical Islamic terrorist people that are supporting that type of group. Islam is not a religion. I will tell you that for sure. It's the political agenda trying to take over America. Thank the Lord that's not happening. Just to let you know on that thing. That is why the Democrats are okay with it. Just saying. Just freaking saying.
So
it's something that I believe that is what is going on. It is a political agenda. It's not a religion. It's a political agenda to take over America. And Democrats will be fine with it. And it's so interesting. The Democrats that call themselves Christians would be okay with this. Isn't that scary? That is straight up scary to me. That's straight up scary. Straight up sad. Straight up in the wrong being of everything. And straight up wrong when you hear Democrats saying, oh, I'm a Christian, but I'm okay with radical Islam destroying America. What? Yeah. My sister made a good point about this about Joe Biden. How can Joe Biden call himself a Catholic and believe in abortion? That was a good point. She made a good point. I was very proud of her about that. And I was like, that's a really good point, sister. I mean, I'm not going to say her. Really good point, sis. Like, that is a really good point. I'm like, yeah, that's a really good point. How can you be a Christian or Catholic and be for abortion? And I was like, sis, that's a really great point. That is really good of you. Good question. Yeah, that's my question. How can you be a Christian? And see, this is my question. I'm going to bring it out there to the Democrat people that call themselves Christians. Can you be a Christian, but you're okay with illegal immigrants killing children? You're okay with that. How can you be a Christian? You're sitting here, oh, I go to church, I pray for the president, all that sort of stuff. If you go to church, this is what I'm going to call it out. If you go to church and tell me that you have voted for evil, you are not a Christian. You are satanically supporting the devil. It's straight up out of my mouth. There is no way you can call yourself a Christian and go protest the No Kings protest. There's no way that you can call yourself a Christian and criticize what Trump is doing when we had a legal immigrant be killed an American citizen. That's not gonna work. You're a Christian, you follow what God has in place, and you follow what he does. Or you are not a Christian. You can't be both, okay? The point is, you can't be both. I think that's true. Everybody can criticize the government, but when you are not going to condemn a legal immigrant killing an American citizen, you're not going to condemn that. You cannot go to church and confess your sins because you are just as guilty as the Democrats saying why we should have this hearing. That is, you're part of that guilt. And I think that's the problem with a lot of people, is that we are seeing these Democrats that call themselves Christians or war Republicans that switch to Democrats. Why? It's because the mainstream media has brainwashed them to death. That is why. Let me repeat this very, very clear. I won't repeat this clearly. The mainstream media has brainwashed you guys. Brainwash you. This is why I do not own cable TV. This is why I will never pay for TV, because I know the media has brainwashed. This is why I do research on stuff before I'm going to read the mainstream media. You know what I mean? We have lost percentage of researchers. We are losing a lot of independent journalists because they are reporting on the truth because they're taking clip-bits of stuff. Do you know sometimes the mainstream media took clip-bits all the way back to 2012 and they blamed it on Trump, and Trump never said that? See, this is the problem, is you guys loved Trump in the 1980s, the 1960s, you all love him, but when he said he ran for president, you call him a rapist, you call him a rapist, you call him a racist, you call him everything. Did you know what E. Jean Carroll said? Did you guys know what E. Jean Carroll said? She said rape is sexy. Yeah, there is a video recording of her saying, yeah, rape is so sexy. What on earth? What? Rape is so sexy? I was raped. And you're telling me E. Jean Carroll called it and said it on a television or a radio show host. I was listening to this on a space. She called rape sexy. It was sexy. And guess what? The mainstream media ain't gonna play that. The mainstream media ain't gonna tell you that. So it's time for you to do your research and listen to her on that stuff when she said it was, I mean, what kind of crap is coming out of E. Jean Carroll's mouth? And she's saying, I was raped by Donald Trump. And then she goes on a radio show and is telling people that rape is sexy. Can you believe that crap? I can't. I cannot believe she said that. It is so, it's so mind-blowing to me. What the hell? Excuse me. It's just so mind-blowing to me. It's sickening. Yeah. Here we go. Ugh. Here, we could look this at the Washington Post. The Washington Post has this and stuff. The Washington Post has it. Another liberal source that people are going to believe is she's saying that rape is sexy. That's what she's saying. She's calling out this. I think most people think of rape as being sexy because it's our culture and we are saturated. What? What, E-Jing? What, E-Jing, Carol? What are you saying? Hold on. What? You are telling us. You are telling us. Yeah, I know. I'm on Riverside. I want to listen to this thing. I want to listen to this with you guys.
On a filmy bodysuit. It's like, oh, I couldn't. So let's go in the dressing room. I thought, yeah, I'm going to make him put those pants on. Walked in, and the minute I was in there, he shut the door and pushed me up against the wall and bang my head
Oh my goodness.
on the wall and kissed me. It was so shocking. He put his shoulder against me to hold me against the wall.
Lying
And
like
at that
it's-
point, I realized that I was in a very difficult situation.
Did he say anything?
A difficult situation.
No, it was just like, we're going to do this thing. We're just so hot for each other. Why would I even try to think what he was thinking? Anyway, so he pushed me, held me with his shoulder, and I was wearing a coat dress and tights, and he pulled down the tights.
Given the prior accusations, which have all been of forms of assault or harassment, you're saying there.
I just can't with her. I just can't. We could go. We can go to the CNN Anderson Cooper and stuff where she said, this is on CNN right now, and I'm pulling this up, where she says, I think it said hold on. Where she says, I think being raped is sexy. What, E. Jean Carroll? What on earth are you saying? It's like, it's so bad, you guys, that you can't even, Carol, I think most people think of rape as being sexy. That's what she said on the Anderson Cooper 360 degrees. I think it's sickening. And this is on CNN. This is on CNN. You guys watch CNN. I'm looking at where it says that. I'm gonna go. I have to read. I think that's like. Okay, here we go. I think most people think of rape as being sexy. Right here. Most people think of rape being sexy. What? What? Agent Carroll said, I think most people think of rape as being sexy. And then Cooper says, let's take a short break. This is on the, Anderson Cooper This is on CNN. You can look at the transcript itself. It's on CNN. This is quite concerning, ladies and gentlemen. And you guys will sit here and believe with the mainstream media, but E. Jean Carroll says, I think rape, most people think as rape as being sexy. What on God's green earth that you are going to tell me that that is okay?
This is, I should point out, just part of, this is one.
How old is the young lady? And I think he goes through bathing. He can't, because he was not having it with the hats.
Okay.
And Anderson.
So at this point, you're
walked in, and why would I even try to think what he was thinking? Anyway.
Said adrenaline was pumping. I think
athlete, so I wasn't like I'm not the victim.
You don't feel like a victim.
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished, which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. It hurt.
But I think
it did not last long.
Of rape, one definition.
That's the definition. Yes.
How long harassment?
Go the tights.
Accusations, which have all been of forms of assault or harassment. You're saying there was actual penetration.
Yes.
Did you? Which puts it into a different category of any of the other women who have come forward. I think that is the definition of rape. One definition.
That's the definition.
That's the definition. She said.
Yes.
She says the.
How long?
Brief. Mm-hmm. Brief, because when a woman is stamping her feet.
And that's what you were doing. You started stamping your feet.
I always think back and think, that was the stupidest thing I've ever done. I should never have done it. And then I didn't behave.
When you say I should have never done it, you mean?
That was just a dumb thing to go into a dressing room with a man that I hardly know and have him shut the door and then be unable to stop him. And I was a competitive athlete, so I wasn't like I didn't freeze. I rose to the occasion, and it did not last long. And that's why I don't use the word you just used. I use the word fight.
You don't use the word rape.
Sexual violence is in every country, in every strata of society. And I just feel that so many women are undergoing sexual violence. Mine was short. I got out. I'm happy now. I'm moving on. And I think of all the women who are enduring constant sexual violence. So this one instant, 3 minutes in this little dressing room, I just say it's the fight. That way I'm not the victim, right? I'm not the victim.
You don't feel like a victim.
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished, which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. It hurt.
But I think most people think of rape as it is a violent assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
There she goes. I think most people think of rape as being sexy. What? What on earth, ladies and gentlemen, is E. Jean Carroll saying? And let's get back into the podcast. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys are just watching that, that is what she just said. She admitted to saying that rape, most people think is rape as being sexy. What? So she's on the CNN and she said that, and nobody's going to watch the full clip of it at all. Not one bit. They're not going to watch the full clip. They're going to watch bits and pieces of it. They're going to watch half and pieces of it. They're not going to watch full of it. But, it's so interesting to me that this is how the Democrats think. And when I heard E. Jean Carroll, because I've been raped myself, I was raped when I was a child, and the investigation started in 2015 and all that sort of stuff. When E. Jean Carroll says that people think rape as being sexy, that should have been a red flag that her story wasn't true. She was being paid to say that what she was doing. That's the problem I have. Let's get back to Minnesota news right now and see what is going on. Nothing quite too interesting. We just heard about the woman who received more than taxpayer money from a child daycare is now in a just in a lot of big trouble right now, ladies and gentlemen. This is quite interesting right now. The woman who received more taxpayer money than any other child care provider last year pled guilty to fraud. So, yeah, this is very huge. The fraud is happening. Democrats, it's here. It is here. It's not fake. It is real. But most of the fraud is disability fraud. And we're going to hear that in the next coming weeks, next coming months, the next coming stuff. I will hopefully get back posting on more on my podcasts and stuff. But we are going to be starting to go through this and stuff. We're going to be going to a lot of stuff is going to be coming out the next couple of days, next couple of weeks. So be prepared. We're going to have a lot of stories coming out, and I'm excited to have a lot of people on my podcast, and we're going to talk about this because this is going to be a huge thing to talk about and stuff. But yeah, this is just a preview of what is coming, ladies and gentlemen, and what we are going to see and what's going to happen. So I hope you guys enjoy literally everything that is going on. Thank you guys for joining the Nate Real Midwest podcast. I will see you guys on the flip side. May God bless you guys all. Thank you guys for joining the Nate Real Midwest podcast. This is Nathaniel Olson signing off.
We saw today the Supreme Court make a decision that is putting so many people's lives in jeopardy. And I just